dog, one child, one youth, one dog, you think big, you. Together we can do this in our continent, you. Think big, you. I say one dog, one child, one youth, one dog, you. Think big, you. Together we can do this in our continent, you. Think big, you.
Today being October 11th, 2022, it's 5:25 a.m. This is Chief Abundance. I believe it was our leader there from Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Joel. He plays a very interesting audio in the executive forum, and I am appealing to the leaders to listen to that video. I believe it should be sent throughout the forums. And so, the admin and duty, you need to send that video that Mr. Joel Carr put in the executive. It's a very interesting because it speaks about the global movement, how the globalist thinks, how they will use digitalization to control the globe. A system that was introduced to have the majority become financially free. They have now studied it and have now decided to use the very instrument that came to bless the majority now to curse them. And you know why they can do it? They can do it because we, as a majority, especially people of color, instead of pooling our energies to fight the real enemies, we have turned on each other, divided by religion, divided by politics. And so while we are fighting each other over trivial things, by the way, trivial things, the globalists have now created a format to finally weaponize us into their submission financially. And so, based on that video presentation, the central banks around the world, and we know that they are now digitalizing their currencies. There's no secret about it. All the central banks now are digitalizing their currencies. But we must also understand in the Tiashan community, I've always said there's a difference between government digitalized currency and cryptocurrency. And so the government is now creating their central bank digital currency that will have the users be controlled 100%. The things that I heard in that video, it's no child's play. It's no child's play. The elites will not create any system to give majority control over their economy. Hence the reason that we in the Tiashan community, we are blessed and privileged to be introduced to cryptocurrency at this point. We who are in the Tiashan community can either be a blessing to the world, to our continent, to our region, to our country, to our community, to our household, or we can be a curse. The elites are not playing. They are very angry that a system has been introduced without their consent and without their control. It is the first time since the bartering system that people coming together can decide what is money. They don't like it. And so what they have done, they have created a lot of bogus and fake and fraudulent system, even in the fiat system. They have created all these things. They have promoted these things, but you don't know it. And so when you see companies like Tesla Luno and how they rise and fall, a company that boasted of its asset being pegged by the US dollar, that should never lose value, has gone down to nothing. Billions have been lost in 48 hours in Tesla Luno. These things are not by mistake. The elites know how we work. They know that we do not produce anything. We prefer the easy part when it comes to financial freedom. But when it comes to creating wealth for the elites, we have no problem working hard for the system. We will work for 40, 50 years for the elite system, and it's fine. We show up to work 8 and 12 hours a day. We do what we have to do until we retire. It's fine. But to present a system, your system, you want shortcuts. You want it easy. You cannot come together. The elite system, I don't need to tell you the results. Look around your community. Just take a look. Put out a vacancy for a reception, a manager, a secretary, one position. You will get 10,000 people applying for the one job. That is how bad the economy is. I want everyone, and I'm asking again the admin to put that video out so you can have an understanding as to what the elites are planning for you. While you are planning to vote your party and your prime minister and president into office, you also need to understand who controls the system. They don't. If your country does not submit to IMF or the World Bank, all these systems that they put in place, because that is how they have done it. They have put all the countries on life support. All the countries in the world on life support. And the day you decided not to follow, they pull the oxygen and leave you to suffer. Isn't that what America did with Cuba? Isn't that what they're trying to do with Venezuela and other Arab states that don't follow their policies? As one man said, that America has no permanent friends, only permanent interests. And so as a community, as a people globally, we can prevent and stop any diabolic system or systems that the elites want to introduce. Because the elites are few. 6, 7 families control the world. 6, 7 families control the world. They are the head of all the institutions: the World Bank, the IMF, WHO, the UN, UNICEF, the Global Food Organization, ILO. They're all over, these organizations, and they're intertwined with every country that signs their treaties. And so you're in a global village. The cryptocurrency now that was introduced to be a system of rules without rulers have now been hijacked. I said it about 2.5 years ago. The longer we stay spinning around, jumping from cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency, jumping from eardrops to eardrops, by the time we will catch ourselves, the mass adoption period would have been gone. And the elites would have already hijacked the system. And once they hijack this system, that is it. That is it. And so your whole control will be monitored in their crypto world. You will not be able to spend their digital currency X miles away from your house. Can you imagine? You live in a city and you can only access your funds in about a 1 mile or 2 mile radius. You cannot go any further, and that money is no good. The money will also have expiry date when it is given. And certain items that you will purchase, the system will accept whether it is convenient or it is not convenient for you. Can you imagine that level of control over your spending? The system will dictate to you what you buy and what you do not buy. The system will dictate how much you spend and how much you cannot spend, and where you can spend it. This is where the globalists are going. They're out to control everyone. And that is why they're very angry with cryptocurrency. But the only how they will achieve what they're doing if we allow them. If we keep fighting each other. TAC Diasporan City is an antidote to this diabolic move that the globalist is about to put in place. And how is an antidote? Is if we decide to speak in one voice, if we decide to come together, if we decide as a community, because at the end of the day, with the level of control that is coming, what good is your degree? What good is your present freedom? What good is your fiat currency? And the situation is, they're even saying that if you do not take the vaccine, there is a lot of services that you will not be accessing to. You will not be able to go to school. Your children will not be able to go to school if they are not vaccinated. They will not be able to go into restaurants. They will not be able to fly. All these are restrictions for those who fail to take the vaccine. And so, as much as digitalization and cryptocurrency can be a blessing, it can also be a curse to everyone. And so you ask yourself the question, is this the level of control you want? That any vaccine comes out, any food that they produce. A matter of fact, they even gone on to go as far and said that those of you who are growing your organic farm, those of you who are farmers, if you're not registered in the system, you will not be allowed to buy seeds to grow, because everything will be in the system. You see the level of control that we're talking about? And so you think that abundance and tact is your enemy? No, we're not. And those of you who say you're fighting tact, you're not fighting tact. You are only creating your bed of fire in time to come. As somebody put that video in the forum, I think it was Goodman, of the two deers that are fighting each other, and they didn't realize the lion was coming. By the time, and there was an observer who saw the lion coming, but because of selfishness, because of ignorance and greed, the one that was watching did not notify that there were fire on the mountain. And so when the two that were fighting each other, by the time they looked to see, the enemy was too close, and as a result of it, one lost their life to the lion. Let that not be the Tiashan community that has been given so much information and insight and foresight before things happen, that we keep a blind eye, that we continue to be individualist, thinking about ourselves, while the real enemy and their system has been let loose.